Okay, second podcast. Let's do a podcast. We have water in front of us with downtown in the background. Some trees. Looks nice. The sun has gone down, but we still have aeronautical twilight will occur in a couple hours. There's still some light in the sky you can see. Alright, so I wanted to make this a media episode about what is going on concerning media and how it's coming out and who's putting it out and some things I've seen. First, I just wanted to say that I saw Motion Board Shop had a podcast come out that was about an hour and a half long. I haven't had the chance to listen to that yet, but I'm sure there's some good stuff in there if it's an hour and a half long. And it's nice to see them taking the time and effort to put something together. I know there's a lot of good snow in the mountains around here right now, and they could be snowboarding or doing something like that, or even skating. It was kind of dry today, but nice to see the podcast. I'll be sure to listen to that. I saw a new Get That Skate podcast came out, top 10. That was great time listening to that. They had Max Heaton on and Harry Clark, and the three of them with Jack are just, I could really listen to them all day talk about whatever they're talking about, because it's just entertaining. It's nice to hear a skater's side of skating, like skaters on skating. It's almost like writers on writing. You don't see too many books on it. You don't hear people talking about it amongst themselves. You might hear a writer interviewed, but yeah, it's nice to hear. So big shout out to them down there, getting ready for their fall season. Enjoy your autumn, all your pumpkin and all that. Pumpkin beers. Woohoo. What other media did I see come out? Kenya 254 downhill. Unbelievable as usual. A lot of notations and just a quality job. Not to mention the English is impeccable. It's better English than I'll speak in this. And I grew up in the States. So it kills me that you can live in Kenya, you speak the native language, which I should have probably looked that up before I said this, but I don't even know what it is. And then you also learn English and you just speak that impeccably and have good grammar and all that other stuff. It's really nice to see in the world. And of course the skating's good, you know. He had a review on Pau Peralta's Dragon Skin Wheel. He put out about a 13-minute review, I think it was. And that came out a couple months ago. It was just great to listen to somebody actually talk about those wheels, because you know, you've seen endless hype, you've seen pictures, you've seen cord versions of them. There's been 60 iterations or whatever they put out, but to actually hear somebody talk about the wheel that we've all been awaiting was really nice. So I thoroughly recommend checking out that review as well as all his other stuff, because he's definitely a cool skater to watch. He goes and finds new spots, he's into it. It's just nice to see. I even saw a video where somebody passed him pretty close, used his lane to pass on a 2-lane road, and he got squeezed a little and he gave them the finger. And I thought, man, that's pretty funny, because I wouldn't even give somebody the finger in Seattle if I was skating, because I'd be scared they'd come back around. So maybe the security situation over there is a little bit safer than Seattle. I got a big kick out of that one. But yeah, definitely check him out. What else have I seen on media recently? Past couple months, Patrick Switzer had a bunch of videos on his Instagram account, about 10 minutes each, where he went through all the items he had collected over the years, and he was selling them. I didn't buy anything. He wasn't selling anything that was of interest to me, but he did have a lot of nice stuff, a lot of cool stuff that he had collected from all the races. And it was nice to see all that stuff online, and just almost like a longboard museum type thing is what he had going on. It was interesting to see him selling it all, though. I'm just wondering if he got tired of all the stuff, or maybe kombucha sales in Europe were depressed over the winter and he needed some extra cash, or he's probably getting more stimulus over there than here. But yeah, it was interesting to see that. So that was a lot of good stuff. I saw Liam Morgan stop drinking. He was posting about that. And I just wanted to give that a special shout out because America's flooded with alcohol. It's everywhere. You try to stop drinking and good luck. So he was talking about that, and I think he had said he had stopped for maybe even like 120 days or something, which, hey, if you've stopped drinking for 120 days, you definitely will feel better. And if you don't, go see a doctor because there's something else wrong with you. But big shout out to him for putting that out there. And he said he's feeling good. And, once you do something like that, you can pick it back up, but you probably won't get into it as hard because you know that not drinking just gives you more energy in the long run. It's nice to wake up early and feel good, be able to do stuff all day long. Okay, moving right through the media episode. Dexter Manning put out a video. He likes to go fast on his skateboard. He rides a small skateboard too. He went down to Deer Creek State Park in California, and Max followed him down the road, and he shot a ripping video. This was not that video. This is he shot the latest video. It looks like in Vancouver on the access road at Cypress, I think, is where some of it was shot. But it's a good video too. The skating is dangerous though. It's nice to see people doing that, but I don't know if you can sell a pro model because not that many people want to skate that way. And I don't even know if there's an ability involved in skating that way. I guess there is an ability, but I think a part of it is just good luck. So if you want to push your luck and, always depend on good luck time after time after time, you may end up in a situation where you're headed off the road at about 50 miles an hour and there's not much to stop you. So Dexter, I wish you well. I love your skating. I love your videos. Guff, you do a tremendous job as usual. But slow down. More free riding, more switch, more longevity in your career, young man. Because if you fly off the road, you're gonna suffer. Here's a guy I really like to watch. Arthur K. Job on Instagram. He has a style where he likes to do blunt slides and then he'll kick it into a hard flip. Is basically what he'll do. Almost like a Rodney Mullen type style. Except he comes into it going about 35 miles an hour, so it's ridiculous. But he's down in Brazil and he has just a unique creative style. So if you have a chance to check him out, his name is Arthur Job, but on Instagram he's Arthur K. Job. I might be pronouncing that wrong. But he's like Rodney Mullen if Rodney Mullen was flying along on a longboard and then just decided to kick it sideways and do some cool flips. He's awesome. Really like him. Alright, what else do we have here? Alright, here we go. So Kevin was hired by POW and they bought his company Aero Trucks and he runs Aero for them. And we all love Aero Trucks and I ride Aero Trucks and I ride POW Snakes and it's been an amazing thing for my skating, as everyone else is skating. But I was surprised when I saw a picture of someone holding his longboard in the Capitol building, his original Rain professional model longboard. I won't even say the name because the algorithm will probably pick up the name like some violent word. But you know the board I'm talking about. Anyway, he had been sent a screen grab by Graham Highstead, I think. I might be getting the last name wrong. And then he went and reposted it on his Instagram. And I'm not sure if he was proud that someone was carrying his longboard into the Capitol building on January 6th. And I'm definitely not sure why he felt the need to share that as an influencer on Instagram. And it seems like when George and Stacy hired him, they probably hired him for his influence in the community. And he has a good influence on the community. He takes the time to talk to people. He takes the time to answer questions. He's put in time and effort to make products that are not necessarily the most profitable investment for POW. And he still does it anyway, and it's really helped out our skating. So it's a little bit of a disappointment to see someone like that put on their social media a picture of what happened on January 6th at the Capitol building. And make no mistake, what happened on that day is not a good thing. It's not good for the country. It's not good for us coming together as a society and helping each other, which is what you ultimately want to do as a society. And just to give an example, if you were at an event and it was an event that didn't have a lot of hay or protection, and the track got wet, and they said, hey, we're going to have a vote to decide if we have a qualifying today with a wet track or race in dangerous situation. Say everyone knew it was dangerous. It was a horrible situation. Everyone was, content on not racing. We'll just let the track dry. But for some reason, some crazy reason, about 40% of the people there said, oh no, we'll race. It's a great idea to race. If 40% think it's a great idea when it's not a great idea, when it's the wrong thing, then you're going to have a very tough time coming to a consensus. You basically won't be able to do it because it's too high of a percentage. So 40% of a population at an event in a country is just too high of a percentage to have a consensus. So at that point, you need to re-educate the population that has been led astray, is the best way to put it. And a good way to do that is by not putting your professional model longboard on display in the Capitol building on January 6th, because you have about 20,000 followers or whatever, and you should use the account for good. Like when you use the account for good during the George Floyd protests. Like, it's not a stretch of the imagination to use your social media influence for something that's benefits all of society. So I, of course, wanted to find out who was holding the kill switch in the Capitol building. When you? So I scanned the comments, and Midsvan, they said, OMG Jamie wildin' out. So I looked for OMG Jamie, see if he liked that comment, and of course he did. So became friends with him, and his name's Jamie Gonzalez. He does things like hang out at Tuna Canyon and skate down, follow some people in a nice car. Not sure how he made it to the Capitol building. He didn't have anything on his social media about being in Washington on that day or anything else. If he was smart, he left his phone at home because he doesn't want the FBI to know that, he was in the Capitol building with a skateboard. But who knows? Maybe he's already talked to them. Maybe they called him and said, hey, what were you doing there? And he said, oh, I was just skating by, and, I saw the doors open. I walked right in. It's possible they accept that as a explanation. Who knows? Anyway, I don't think I would have been there. And I've definitely done some things in life other people wouldn't have done. But I don't think even if people were pouring in that building, I would have walked in. That was not a good day to be in that building. So I could write a letter to George and Stacy and say, hey, this guy who's great influence in the downtown community, using his account for evil. But I'll just say it here. Maybe it'll get back to them. Probably not, because only like one person will watch this, and they'll watch 2 minutes. All right, what else do we have? And you should never be afraid to say what's right in life. Like, if you know it's wrong and 40% think it's right, and you're running a business and you can't afford to lose 40%, you still say what's right and you lose to 40%. That's just the way it is. Otherwise, the whole thing will fall apart. What, your pro model is like the one the Proud Boys ride? I doubt it. They probably ride penny boards. Okay, pure longboarding. More media. Brandon is doing something down in he's down in Venice Beach, which is cool. I've talked to him about it a little bit online, and he's got a lot of followers, a lot of influence. He's teaching people how to skate. Some of those people might stick with skating and get really good. Who knows? Pretty cool, though. I think he should probably make YouTube videos, get a YouTube account going with tutorials, and then get revenue stream through that, so he doesn't have to sign people up with the classes. Because I'm curious what's going on in the classes, but I don't think I'd pay money to learn how to dance on a longboard. That's just me, though. So the only other thing I think I want to say is the industry looks good. Small boards are a new thing. We're moving towards that. I like seeing those short wheelbase setups. It's pretty cool. New media. I saw somebody, I think Scott Mano, put a weight on his deck, which if you've ever done a slide and the board is kicked out because it feels like it weighs nothing under your feet, a weight is just a great idea. So, nice. Buy a lightweight deck and then strap an axe head to the bottom of it. It's very clever. I like what you're doing there. And I'm being serious. Alright, second podcast. I think we're done. I only talked about half of what I wrote down because I don't feel like giving criticism the whole time. Next time, I guess I'll write more positive stuff to talk about. Even though we could go on and on and on about the problems in the industry. Maybe next episode we'll talk about the IDF becoming the GGA or whatever it is. I think I talked about that a little last time, but definitely want to touch more on that. Alright, skate safe, be safe, signing off.